Hey guys, I'm outside today and that's partly because I've got a bit of a different video planned for you. It's not as much me doing the technical stuff. I just want to talk a little bit about creativity and diversity in art and some of my opinions on that. First of all, I want to talk to you a little bit about a sponsor, Skillshare. Skillshare is the best platform I know for learning the skills that can influence your artwork. I've been doing a bunch of stuff on Skillshare. I've been learning loads. I've taken a hand lettering course. I've been learning to create a clothing brand. We've been selling t-shirts and we've been making a profit from that, me with a small group. So I've been getting into DSLR photography, which is why you see me here outdoors, because we've got the DSLR now. So I want to be trying that out a little bit more. I've been learning loads from the lessons that I've taken on Skillshare. I want to sharpen my After Effects editing skills. There's loads of great tutorials on After Effects editing in Skillshare, and that's something I've been taking advantage of. And I love watercolor painting, as some of you might know. So there's some great watercolor artists on Skillshare who are sharing their skills. And these ones that I've listed are just some of the wide variety of skills that are available to learn on Skillshare. So I thought I'd let you know about that. If you click the link in the description, you get a free trial to Skillshare. So there's no harm in that. And if you do want to become a paying member, the prices are excellent. They're extremely affordable. Now I want to get on to the main topic of the video. How to create original ideas is a multi-billion-dollar question. Main foundations to any creative skill. The two foundations are the ideas and the execution. So ideas makes up a huge part of that. If you can execute but you don't have any ideas like that are new, then people are going to become bored of what you make and it's going to become a cliche. One of the best solutions I've come up with to creating something fresh and new that people like, and this is mainly in animation I'm talking about because animation is my forte. The way to do it is to cross-pollinate. Take a skill that is just completely different from animation. It doesn't even have to be an art form. It can be any kind of subject you desire, any subject. I'll give you an example. The most common one is music. A lot of directors are directly influenced from the music that they listen to, and I'm no different from that. I get a lot of inspiration and ideas from the music that I listen to. I want to take this a step further, and I'm going to list some ideas. So for example, you can take from sports. I really love the look of figure skating. So that's one idea that I had that I really like, and in my recent film I took a lot of inspiration from figure skating and how they move in that and how gestural it is. But maybe you want something a little bit more gritty, but still you want, as an animator, you want to sort of take influence from a sport. So maybe rugby is something that you can be influenced by. Another idea is climbing. Climbing is an amazing sport, and the things that people climb, it's spectacular. There's magazines made just for climbing. If you flick through one of them, you can get inspiration for an idea for an animation. I went snowboarding recently and I was very inspired by that, and now I'm trying to write a story idea that's set in the mountains, like in a kind of snowboarding location. Traveling by yourself, or with a group, this is related to gaining life experience. Sometimes to make a good story, you've got to have the experience of having lived somewhere, or if you want to take people to a different place which is different from their usual environment, it can be good for you yourself as the writer or creator to get out there and experience that for yourself. Some other ideas: sculpture, architecture, fashion, performances and personalities, celebrities. You might want to create an original character based on a celebrity. So that could be something good to research. Wildlife, bushcraft is something I'm really interested in. Learning about the history of the people who came before you. There's some great stories in there. There's some great visual ideas, some great styles. So part of why I'm saying this is there's a lot of animators right now, and they don't take influence from other things that are outside of animation. When someone just takes the style of another animator or a couple of other animators, they're not really adding a lot to the art form of animation. If we take things from subjects which are not considered relevant to animation and we put them into animation, we can expand what it is to be an animator, and we can bring in fresh new ideas that will be very successful. So you don't want to make artwork that's inbred, that's got no originality, that's not bringing anything from the outside. You've got to take one thing at least from the outside. That stuff's all great material for animation, and you're not going to get that from sitting at your computer animating. So there is a little bit of a balance that comes in here. You can't just be an animator, you have to be a human. Here's the other point that I wanted to make about creativity, which I find is really, really exciting. The categories of film that we have right now are not the only categories that could exist. Film, but also subjects, art forms. There are other ones that just haven't been invented yet, and you could be the one to invent it. This could be the way to invent it, is this cross-pollination idea. There's a lot of the same stuff being repeated again and again. I feel like it would be really refreshing to take something from outside of that and put it into that genre, in the animation community especially, because that's the one that I know. So I had a few ideas of things that, okay, they might not be their own genres, these new genres that are coming out, but they're things that have been done differently, and potentially they're quite interesting, and there might be some potential there. Music generated visual effects. So these are where there's an algorithm, a code which interprets the waveforms of a sound and like creates visuals to it just with code. It's amazing. Kinetic projectors. I found this really interesting, especially from an animation point of view, that there is a way of making animation which is interactive and people could, it could respond to people's actions. Really interesting. I'm not saying that that's something that I'm going to get into, but someone else might want to get into that, and it's new and it's different. Phone camera technology. Something where like collectively we can all use cameras to do something, you know, a group of camera people. I don't know what it is, but I see some potential there. Augmented reality, that's an obvious one, because all of the, you know, Microsoft is putting millions into that, and there's definitely a lot of potential in augmented reality. This is where you put on some glasses and you can see reality, but you can also see animated things or you know, 3D objects that aren't actually there. If you're looking at that from a business point of view, you might say, with this augmented reality shift in the industry, there might be a lot of demand for new interfaces being needed, and for someone to design new interfaces for augmented reality. So that could be a good business decision. Another one that caught my attention was Post Secret. It uses lots and lots of people. The fact that it's anonymous allows us to see deep honest thoughts and feelings. And that's something you can only get with this anonymity. I don't know where that could go. I don't know the potential in that, but I find it interesting, and maybe it's worth looking into for maybe a writer or something. Lots of people come to me and say, I can't learn this stuff from anyone. No one else does it. To some extent that's true. Like with animation, a lot of the technical stuff I teach in animation, I don't think is taught by many others. But in a way, animation is made up of other skills and disciplines. You can find other skills and disciplines which have the essentials for animation in them. So illustration has a lot of the principles you need for being able to draw very well. Photography has a lot of the principles in there for being able to compose a shot very well, and using composition and framing and blocking. Sculpting is another one which is very good for gesture and creating things that are very lifelike in form, creating something that looks 3D and appears to live in this world. Yeah, writing, there's no shortage of writing lessons out there. Editing, this is all stuff that you can find. So in order to get a comprehensive knowledge of animation, you should be borrowing from all of these subjects. And that's what I've been trying to do. So I have an interest in all of those kind of subjects, and I'm trying to borrow different principles from them. Another little lesson for being creative and coming up with new ideas, they often come from having a restriction or a limitation on you. That's one of the best tools for creativity, is being told, for example, that you have only a day to make an animation, or to be told you only have a certain budget to make the animation. I mean, those are the easy ones, but you know, then you could do something like the characters have to move in a certain way. Usually it's good to have someone else impose the restriction on you instead of you choosing the restriction, because otherwise you might be like, oh, I could do that restriction, but that sounds hard. Whereas if someone else tells you it, then you have no choice. That's one reason why university can be really good for getting creative ideas, because they tell you a theme or something that you have to make your animation to, and then you've got to make it to that theme. So that forces you to be creative in what you make. When I started joining tournaments, especially NATA on Newgrounds, that was really great for my creativity, because I was told the theme and I had to go and make it for that theme, and it had to be relevant to that theme. And the theme really was just there so that you could come up with an idea quickly. Give that a go. Whatever your limitation is, you'll probably have a limitation, and it will probably be the time or money. So those are two good ways to do it. You know, how can you make something really quick, but something that's quick but that looks really good? I found that using certain overlays can make something look very good very quickly, and it's very experimental. That's a way that I've been getting around tight deadlines for things that should be taking a long time, but I'm able to just about get them finished in time, even though I don't have a lot of time to do them. If you're someone who's used to writing a lot of dialogue, maybe put in the restriction that you're only allowed to explain things visually. So then you have to use the principles of filmmaking to help you explain an idea. Conversely, you could do it the other way around. If you're someone like me who rarely uses dialogue, maybe say to yourself, okay, I'm not allowed to explain something with film. I have to just have them talking about it, and I have to tell a story through dialogue. I'm probably going to wrap it up there. Those are my thoughts on creativity and new art forms. I just wanted to get the message out there, like there's so much more potential out there, and let's try and find it. Please check out Skillshare. They sponsored this video. They're great. Also, I forgot to mention that If you are a teacher of some kind and you want to reach a larger audience, Skillshare is a good place for that. You can actually create a course on Skillshare and make recurring revenue from that. So it's a good option if you're a teacher. Subscribe to my channel. I'm Howard Wimshurst. Check out animatorguild.com. It's my website where I teach you animation. I'm really excited about the possibilities of this. There's a lot for us to do. See you later.